What you're about to see is completely real. No monsters, no animals, no movement, no chase. Just plants. They sit quietly in forests, gardens, roadsides, and sometimes even near homes, looking harmless while carrying chemicals powerful enough to blind, burn, paralyze, poison, or kill. And the scariest part is that most of them do not need to attack you. They do not need teeth, claws, or venomous fangs. They simply wait for something to touch them, eat them, or mistake them for something safe. These are 7 real plants that can kill you without moving. Let's get into it. The first plant is called the Manchineel Tree, and it is often described as one of the most dangerous trees in the world. From a distance, it looks completely normal. Green leaves, small fruits, and a peaceful tropical appearance. But almost every part of this tree is toxic. Its fruit looks like a small green apple, which is why it has sometimes been called the little apple of death, eating. It can cause severe burning in the mouth and throat, swelling, vomiting, and potentially life-threatening reactions. But the fruit is not the only danger. The tree produces a milky white sap that can cause painful blisters if it touches your skin. Even standing under it during rain can be dangerous, because water dripping from the leaves can carry diluted sap onto your body. Burning the wood is also risky, because the smoke can irritate the eyes and may cause temporary blindness. This tree does not chase anything. It does not move. It simply stands there, and everything about it is a warning hidden behind an ordinary shape. The next plant is oleander, and this one is especially disturbing because people grow it for decoration. It has beautiful flowers, thick green leaves, and is often planted along roads, gardens, and public spaces because it is hardy and attractive. But behind that beauty is a powerful poison. Oleander contains toxic compounds that affect the heart. If someone eats the leaves, flowers, stems, or even small parts of the plant, it can cause nausea, dizziness, irregular heartbeat, and in serious cases, death. What makes oleander so dangerous is how normal it looks. It does not look like a threat. It looks like something made to decorate a garden. There have even been warnings about not using oleander branches as skewers for cooking, because the toxins can contaminate food. This is the kind of plant that proves nature does not always put danger behind an ugly face. Sometimes it covers it in flowers. The third plant is water hemlock, and many experts consider it one of the most poisonous plants in North America. The danger comes from the fact that it can look similar to harmless plants, especially to people who do not know what they are looking at. It grows near wet areas, streams, ditches, and marshes, with clusters of small white flowers. But inside the plant, especially in the roots, is a toxin called cytotoxin. This poison attacks the nervous system and can cause violent seizures, vomiting, confusion, and death. The terrifying part is how fast it can act. A small amount of the root can be enough to cause serious poisoning. Water hemlock is not dramatic in appearance. It does not look like something from a horror film. It looks like a simple wild plant near water. And that is exactly what makes it so dangerous. It hides one of nature's most violent poisons inside a soft, ordinary-looking body. Then there is deadly nightshade, also known as belladonna. This plant has a dark history, and even its name sounds like a warning. It produces shiny black berries that can look tempting, especially because they appear smooth, round, and almost sweet. But those berries contain dangerous alkaloids that interfere with the nervous system. Eating them can cause blurred vision, confusion, hallucinations, rapid heartbeat, difficulty breathing, and death. In the past, belladonna was connected to medicine, poison, and even beauty practices, because tiny amounts were once used to dilate the pupils. But the difference between an effect and a fatal dose can be dangerously small. What makes deadly nightshade so frightening is the way it disguises itself. It does not have thorns. It does not smell like death. It simply grows berries that look like something an animal or a person might want to eat. One mistake can be enough. The fifth plant is the castor bean plant, and it is the source of one of the most infamous poisons on Earth, ricin. The plant itself can look tropical and decorative, with large star-shaped leaves and spiky seed pods. In many places, it is even grown as an ornamental plant. But inside its seeds is ricin, a toxin so powerful that even small amounts can be extremely dangerous if the seeds are chewed and swallowed. Ricin works by stopping cells from making the proteins they need to survive. Without that process, cells begin to fail. Symptoms can include severe stomach pain, vomiting, diarrhea, dehydration, organ damage, and potentially death. The strange thing is that castor oil, which comes from the same plant, is widely used after proper processing because the dangerous toxin does not remain in the finished oil. That contrast is what makes the plant so unsettling. One version is useful, another version can be deadly. The danger is hidden inside seeds that look like harmless patterned beans. The sixth plant is Jimpy, also known as the suicide plant, and it may not be famous for killing instantly, but it is famous for causing one of the most intense pains in the plant world. Found in Australia and nearby regions, this plant is covered in tiny, needle-like hairs that can inject irritating compounds into the skin when touched. The pain has been described as burning, electric, and unbearable, and in some cases it can last for weeks or even months. Even dried leaves can remain dangerous because the stinging hairs can still cause pain. People who brush against it may feel as if they have been burned and shocked at the same time. The plant does not need poison berries or deadly fruit. Its defense is contact. You touch it once and your body remembers. Jimpy is a reminder that plants do not have to kill you to become terrifying. Sometimes pain itself is the weapon. The final plant is white snake root, and this one has killed people in a very unusual way. It grows as a simple-looking wild plant with small white flowers, often in wooded areas and fields. The plant contains a toxin called trematol. If livestock eat it, the toxin can pass into their milk and meat. Humans who drink contaminated milk can develop what was historically called milk sickness. Symptoms included weakness, vomiting, trembling, confusion, and sometimes death. One of the most famous victims believed to have died from milk sickness was Nancy Hanks Lincoln, the mother of Abraham Lincoln. What makes white snake root so disturbing is that it does not always harm directly. It can move through the food chain. A person does not even need to eat the plant. They may only consume milk from an animal that did. This is a quieter kind of danger, hidden not in the bite of an animal, but in the invisible path of a toxin. 7 plants, 7 silent dangers. A tree that can burn your skin, a flower that can stop your heart, a wild plant that attacks the nervous system, berries that can poison the mind, seeds hiding one of the world's most feared toxins, leaves that can cause unbearable pain, and a plant that can poison through milk. None of them need to run. None of them need to hunt. They survive by standing still and letting chemistry do the work. Nature did not make these plants dangerous by accident. It made them dangerous because danger works. So the next time you see a beautiful flower, a strange berry, or a harmless-looking plant growing by the roadside, remember this. In nature, the quietest things are not always the safest. Drop a comment and tell me which plant scared you the most. And if you want more videos about the hidden dangers of the natural world, subscribe and hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one.